Good morning, everyone. So today I want to share with you some of my insight with regards to sustainable project management. So sustainability is one of the most significant issues that we have in project management nowadays. It has been consistently overlooked in the past. So now only we have the chance of looking into it because recently project management professionals have looked into it and they have given us like the importance why we need sustainable project management, why it is really needed to be in the project management itself, in the projects, because it gives us very successful project deliverables at the end and how we can sustain that project results through a life cycle. Sustainability is becoming increasingly significant in the delivery of projects as well because stakeholders are very concerned about the ethical practices, environmental friendliness, and economic efficiency during the project life cycles. So let's dive into the presentation today. So this is the content that we are going to go ahead throughout the presentation. We'll have a quick introduction followed by the current trends in project management. I will introduce the concept of sustainability, its principles, its strategies, and its importance. And finally, we'll discuss about its strengths and weaknesses. So, into the introduction, when we're talking about sustainability in project management, we have to talk about sustainable development as well. So, from an organizational viewpoint, sustainability implies adapting business strategies and activities that meet the needs of the company and its stakeholders today while protecting, sustaining, and enhancing the human and natural resources that will be needed in the project in the future. Also, projects can be viewed as temporary organizations because when we take a project, it has a separate team, it has separate rules and regulations, it has different templates. It's like a different organization in the main organization. But the only problem when we talk about this organization as projects as organization, because it's temporary. Projects are not like, it has a start date and it has an end date. It's not permanent. It ends someday. So it's temporary. So because of this, it challenges the sustainable development. So project management is short-term oriented and sustainable development is long-term oriented. It's the big picture. So in this table also you can see the differences between sustainable development and the project management. So as we say, it's long-term oriented sustainable development. And it's also life cycle oriented. It talks about the whole life cycle, like from initiating the thought, from finishing the end result of the product. It has the whole life cycle. But project management, once the deliverables are delivered, project management concept is over. We have the closure and that's the end of it. Sustainable development, we have 3 P's: people, planet, and profit. We'll talk about the 3 P's in the next slide. Project management, we have the triple constraint: scope, time, and budget. And sustainable development, we have like when we introduce sustainable development into an organization, into a project, it increases its complexity. There are a lot of processes, there are a lot of maturity models that we have to adhere to. So it increases the complexity. But project management, it reduces the complexity. That's why we need project management to handle projects, so it reduces the complexity. So moving forward to the next slide, the current trends in project management. So these are few trends in project management in 2022. So as you can see, the resource management is highlighted. Knowledge sharing is on the trend. Agile and hybrid methodologies have gained more exposure. Remote working is being promoted. Since COVID, we've been working remotely. And change management is having big changes in its processes. So PM tools are becoming way easier to use, to handle, to process. PM tools are way easier than those days. And also there's another point, PMO being more strategic and sustainable. So we'll see why PMO has to be more strategic and sustainable in this presentation and what is the importance of being it strategic and sustainable. Before moving towards that, I'll introduce you the concept of sustainability. So here, in the concept of sustainability, when we talk about it, the first thing that comes into our mind is the 3 pillars of sustainability, like environmental, social, and economic. It is also regarded as the triple bottom line perspective. So out of these 3 pillars, Economic one is more important, but whatever, even though it is important, all the three pillars are interrelated. So if we say one pillar goes up, the other two pillars also goes up. In other words, if one dimension goes up, the other two dimensions also goes up. So that is the interrelation between these three pillars. So the social is the second pillar of the three pillars, and it allows us to recognize the critical stakeholders. So when we talk about a project, when we take a project, it has different stakeholders. It can be internal, external, but anyway, they are critical stakeholders. So it can be employees, customers, clients, or the project team members, anyone. So it allows us to recognize who are the critical stakeholders. And lastly, the environmental or the ecological pillar deals with the setting in which people work and the preservation and conservation of the environment. So sustainability also entails the integration of long-term and short-term goals. The only contrast here is, so economic pillar, it values more short-term goals, because when we say economic, we want to make a profit very fast. But when we talk about environmental and social, you want the results to be long lasting. So environmental, social, it goes into long-term goals, while economic goes into short-term goals. Lastly, sustainability is about consuming income instead of capital. Sustainability emphasizes the business capital should remain intact. So whatever we earn as the income, we should spend for the business, but the capital should be intact. We should not spend the capital in the business. So that is the concept of sustainability. Moving on to the next slide, when we talk about the principles of project management sustainability involves guaranteeing the rights of the critical stakeholders, enhancing the ethical practices, ensuring equality, and compliance with the set of legal framework. That is the commitment and accountability. When we talk about ethics and decision making, it makes the decisions with consideration to all the universal principles. So let's say within an organization, we make a decision, it should also have the global perspective. It should not be only organization concept of it. So it's the universal concept that comes into an organization when we are making a decision. And then when it comes to integration and transparency, project management should foster the interdependence of economic development, social integrity, and the protection of the environment. Enhancement of resources, so that is the principle of value base. We can also regard the resources in here. In enhancement of resources, it should be done by improving the development of technologies and resources. Like resources should not be underused and not be overused. It should be in a constant level of use. Then there is social responsibility. And finally, the project management should have financial strategies, objectives, and targets. So moving on to the strategies adopted by organizations, we have three strategies here. Here we have talked about the 5 P's here. Here we talk about 3 P's. It's people, planet, and profit. So we have 5 P's here. We include programs and projects into 3 P's, people, planet, and profit, so that whatever we do, we can make a specific link between what we do as project managers and what we have as outputs. So we in the IT industry, we do have programs, we do have projects. So we can make a specific link between what we do. So that's why we get 5 P's from 3 P's. And then it covers the environmental and social elements as well as profitability, economics and capital deployment, all of which are necessary if we are going to be truly sustainable. To get the holistic view, project managers need to look at the bigger picture throughout their project lifespan to measure and monitor its environmental impacts. Project managers need to think of themselves as people who do more than just cope up with the post-sanction stages of a project, because they should be acting as advisors to clients at a strategic level, influencing the purpose of the project and the deliverables, all with an eye to sustainability. When planning long-term, project managers should look beyond the immediate life cycle of the project, because let's say we have risk, it's like we have the immediate risk coming in, we have the immediate results, but we should look beyond that. So that is a long-term planning. Moving towards the significance of sustainability, sustainable project management is needed for successful execution and completion of projects, as well as to promote the success of the company. And first reason why sustainable project management is important is risk management. Projects often have uncertainties. Sustainability helps in risk mitigation, assessment, and management to prevent issues before they occur. Secondly, sustainability enhances project quality. The enhancement of quality helps in reducing project depreciation, so providing value to the stakeholders. Sustainability in project management is also pretty important in giving the project a competitive advantage over the other project, as sustainable projects rank so highly that they are more likely to be considered by investors and stakeholders to invest on those projects. So let's talk about the strengths and weaknesses. When we talk about strengths in sustainable project management, it benefits the organization in various ways. Sustainability in project management increases organizational value, creates opportunities, reduces risk, increases profits, and reduces costs. The integration of sustainability allows companies to penetrate new markets, creating opportunities for increased revenue generation. Also, sustainability in organizations management facilitates product differentiation, which gives companies a competitive advantage. Even though sustainability in project management is great for businesses, there are also various drawbacks. Firstly, sustainability causes additional costs, mainly to improve knowledge and then competences concerning sustainability and implement sustainability plan within the organization. Secondly, the implementation of sustainability in project management requires high commitment in terms of resources such as time and money. And then this can be tiresome to the project teams as well, because sustainability, as we talked about, is long term, right? So when we do a process to have something that comes into our hand as a long term result, we do things constantly, but we don't get results. So that can be tiresome to the project teams. They do get results, but it can be to another team, it can be to some future people, but not to them. So it can be tiresome, it can be demotivating, that can be an issue. And also, because of the additional cost involved, this process can be costly for smaller companies such as startups. This can be like, let's say, because of this process, the startups might have it partially installed, they might have partial processes in place. So because of that, they won't get the full strengths in sustainability because they have done it partially in startups. So we have come to the end of the discussion. Thank you so much for coming and have a nice day.